Okay, okay. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 564. Yep, we're back for this for a little bit. We're discussing episode 16 17 of Kiramager. I mainly just did two because I really want to get down at least one of the two anime that came out today. That'd be My Hero Vigilantes. Wait. I may or may not be able to get that done. It depends. So these two episodes, 16 basically reveal that Takemichi has a traumatization with marshmallows. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah. And it turns out that the reason why this is because when he went to high school, which, from what I read, get this. So, the high school he went to, mind you, the show comes out in 2020. So, 30 years, which means 1990. And what series came out in the year 1990? What high school uniform is this? Why, it's the, get this, it is the high school that the Turbo Rangers went to. You know, not Power Rangers Turbo, Turbo Ranger. The Sentai show. You're like, really? He went there? Yeah, he went to high school. Because I mentioned he's a Showa guy, and because, well, he was technically born in the Showa era, so you could probably assume he went to high school. I highly doubt he ran into the Turbo Rangers. I mean, he may have seen them, but here's the weird thing about this. Because they confirm he went to high school, here's something really weird, though. The Turbo Rangers do not appear in this show. Really? Yeah. No appearance by them. You would think that might be a good idea for a crossover. But nope. Totally never thought of doing that. Nope. Not in the slightest. Even though it's been, because I think this one ended in 2021, it's only been like 5 years since the season of Sentai ended. And you would think, basically, they would think of do a crossover between Turbo Ranger and Kiramager. That might be a really good idea to do, but no. Yeah, it's one of those things, basically, you think that basically would happen. Like, in the case of Manger, like, there was potentially more crossover besides just be with, well, they only crossed over 2 with that one. That was, Goanjo with just one member of the team, and of course, basically, well, of course, yes, they cross with Joe from Gokaiger, though that was basically done for fan service, and in the case of the one for Tokuger, because it's been 10 years since I've been to that show. But in the case of this one, I would think it might be a good idea, but it depends upon the actors. I mean, could they come back? It's possible. Who knows? As far as I can tell, all the actors from Kiramager are still pretty much all still alive. It's only been 5 years. Turbo Ranger, I think all of them are still alive. Let me take a look here about that one. I mean, I assume they are. Yeah, I'm sure they are. So, basically, the whole thing is basically, so he kind of rejected it first. Though he ended up making some marshmallows for her, thanks to, of course, Asana's encouragement. Okay, so here we go. So, the answer to the question, are the actors in Turbo Ranger meeting? It's been like 36 years since the show ended. Let's see. Is Blue still alive? Oh, excuse me, Red. I'm assuming all of them are still alive because they're pretty young at the time. According to this, yep, Red's still alive. How about Blue? Blue is still alive. I'm guessing at the time they probably like all the actors probably like in their 20s, so they're probably all like probably past the age of 50 by now. Okay, this looks like the Yellow's retired, but there's nothing that he can't come out of retirement for a reunion. Pink Turbo. Yeah, all the actors still very much alive. They're probably all, let's see, 69, so 40. I think they're probably all like probably pushing 60. So there's nothing that says they can't do a reunion. Okay, so it looks like that Pink is also retired too. But at least they're still alive. I mean, bringing back their mentor, he's something else. Is the actor by Dr. Denzey still alive? He is. He's currently 79, but he's still very much alive. As for the teacher, who, of course, mentor, I think, for the show, yeah, she's still alive. I mean, there's this says they can't do a reunion. I know the show has issues to arrange because basically this was the time where the guy who wrote it basically was, first two shows, he was simply running out of ideas, so he was just reusing concepts of their shows. But I actually did enjoy watching Terror Range when I watched it. But in the case this one here, so so then during the course making marshmallows, well, Tajiro, the Kira Yellow, comes to the idea to freeze the monster because his whole body becomes a marshmallow. Even while him in the rear end with a sword, it just bounces off him. Also, the Crimson Dark Mask, he's like eating marshmallows, which is assuming people. And it's a bit of a comedy-ish, but it's mixed of comedy and seriousness. Eventually, by the way, they do mention that they bring up that his high school crush is still very much alive. Probably also 47, probably also her mid-40s as well. And she's a violinist. And by the end of the episode, he does reunite with her. He does apologize, basically, what happened 30 years prior to this. And she accepts his apology. She just asks, like, wow, you haven't changed. You basically look the same. And he does compliment her because guys would do that. They would compliment the ladies they like. Now, as for these two, now, does Akira, does she return after this? For I read she does. She does appear in one more episode of the series. But apparently her next appearance is on episode 42. And this is episode 16. So it's going to be a while before she shows up again. Then we can begin. Now, that was sort of like a standalone episode, which doesn't look part of canon. This one definitely is. So, we started a saga that I've read the episodes it takes up. It takes up like a certain amount of episodes. It's weird, to say the least. Yes, it's known as the Kenma Stone Saga. It's made of 4 stones. And it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes. Yeah, it takes 10 episodes. But here's the thing. You think, oh, we're going to start in 17, wraps in 27. It does not. After next episode, it takes 2 episode break, comes back 2 episodes, take 2 episodes off, comes back for 2 episodes, and then after like 26, it takes off for like 11 episodes before coming back for 38, 40, 44, and 45. It's kind of interesting. So, they find the first stone in a mansion, which is attached to a grandfather clock, and the only inside is to play whack-a-mole. So, bring in the video gamer, and June basically transferring his little thing from a giant crane, a front loader, into like a hammer, merged with a sword, and of course they whack the thing, and of course Garza comes in, and of course he slices at Kiramager, which apparently, from what I read, this will play a role in the next episode. And eventually it's discovered that the whack-a-mole is actually the monster himself, and then he's beaten. Oh, and there's a giant monster, which they beat him by smashing a hammer. After they get through that, then they get the stone. So, they mentioned that these stones themselves are wish-making stones. And so, what's going on is, the reason why he was searching for these things is because there's a darkness inside of the princess. And he wants to get rid of it. With a wish. You're like, okay, interesting. Did not really expect that at all, but okay. But it's the start of a saga. A saga that takes breaks for some reason. I've never heard of a saga doing this for any of the Sentai series I've ever seen. Where it's like, it's there for a couple episodes, take a break, come back. It just, you're like, why would it do this for? Why would it basically do them doing like 10 episodes straight? I think because basically the writers of the show want to do something else. That's probably the reason for that. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much a particular video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. I don't think I have time to watch My Hero Vigilantes at the moment. I'll probably watch when I get back. It'll be the first thing I'll watch. And then it's going to be a brand new anime, which comes out today, which I'm ready to watch that one. I'm going to watch that next. And then I'm going to go watch the newest episode of Kamen Rider Zex, and then Project Red, and then come back to this. So, because like tomorrow I have no new anime tomorrow, I can maybe go through a lot more of this tomorrow. I mean, in case you're curious, how many episodes are my break? So, with this particular one, I started with 15 left. Now I'm down to 13 left. So, 13 for my break. But, how many more for the whole series? Given the fact it's 45, well, at 15 I was down to 30 to go. Now currently down to 28. Yep. But see you next video. Bye.